What's up, guys? Welcome to GoGo Motoring YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna provide you with a 3-year ownership update on my 2003 BMW Z4 3.0i. It's pretty crazy to think that I've already owned this car for 3 years. I ended up purchasing it in April of 2018. And when I purchased the car had about 87,000 miles on the clock. I found the car on a Car Guru's website, and the price was pretty, for a pretty good deal, actually. Ended up reaching out to the seller who lived in Atlanta. We scheduled a time to meet up in Chattanooga. We met in Chattanooga. I looked at the car, test drove it for a bit, and consummated the transaction right then and there. Then, when I brought the car back to Knoxville, where I live, I ended up taking it to my mechanic to see all the things that needed to be done in the car. Even though I typically advise people to get a pre-purchase inspection before they buy a high mileage BMW, or frankly any high mileage car for that matter, I actually didn't end up paying for a pre-purchase inspection myself. And just given the good price that I was able to buy the car for, I kind of expected that I would have to do certain things to it to make sure that it's running right. So anyway, ended up taking it to my trusted mechanic. We ended up kind of looking at the car and identified certain things that needed to be fixed in the car. The first one was the bushings. At 87,000 miles, the bushings that this car had were pretty worn out. The car felt pretty loose on the highway when I was driving it. I mean, not pretty loose for a BMW, not for a regular car, but for a BMW, and especially for a car like this, it felt pretty loose. So my mechanic looked at it and decided that the bushings had been worn and that we needed to get that replaced. So that was the first thing that I ended up fixing in this car at 87,000 miles. So basically, when I got it, that's what needed to be fixed. Another thing that the car had is that it actually had a bent rim. In fact, it had 2 bent rims. So I ended up having to fix those 2 rims. Again, not surprising, just given how stiff the suspension is. In fact, as I'm trying to record this video, this is pretty crazy. The car's shaking so much in some of these roads that I'm not, I'm kind of not sure whether you're going to be able to, even, see this video, or whether it's just going to be shaking all over the place. But I'm gonna do my best to kind of drive this in a nice manner. But two of the rims were bent. Again, not surprising. The car's got 18-inch rims, low profile tires, stiff suspension, so I can totally see how a rim would get bent if you were to hit a pothole in one of these cars. So suspension wise, what I needed to change were the bushings, and I had to fix the rims. As soon as I got the car, I ended up getting the oil change. I ended up flushing all the fluids, the transmission fluid, the brake fluid, etc. Just making sure all that was taken care of. So I did that. Again, that's just really more of a preventative maintenance issue, and that's it. And then I also ended up having to change the belts around that time. Whenever I would turn it, it wouldn't happen all the time, but from time to time I'd kind of hear sort of a squeaking from the engine. It was determined that sort of the belts that in the engine had been kind of worn out and loose, probably due to age. It is a 2003 model year, so it's at the time that I bought it, it was a 15-year-old car. Now it's a 18-year-old car. So I ended up replacing the belts, and then the final thing that I had to change on this car, well, 2 things. Was the oil sensor. So even though I changed the oil, and obviously the car had plenty of oil in its engine. Whenever I would drive the car, the little check engine oil would come up. And again, speaking to my mechanic, he told me that the sensor within the engine that sort of detects the oil levels had gone bad. So I ended up replacing that oil sensor. And then finally, the last issue that I've had in this car since I've owned it was the convertible roof. I did a series of videos on that, so that was kind of an expensive fix to get all that straightened out. But no, it's 2021 right now, 3rd year anniversary. The car has about just shy of 95,000 miles. It's 94,926 miles. 94,926 miles. So in 3 years, I effectively put about 7,000 to 8,000 miles on this car. So it's really, you know, some would say it's been a garage queen. It's not been a garage queen. It's just that, you know, my daily driver is the 2007 BMW 328i that I have. So this car has, you know, primarily been used as a, you know, a third car, a fun car to take out on the weekends. I will say that once COVID hit and our kids went to virtual school, I was able to use this car much more as a daily driver, and it's worked, you know, fine in that regard as well. So I've only put 8,000 miles on it, and you know, again, all the car's running fine. You know, there's really nothing else that needs to be changed. I did have to change the battery. That's the one thing I forgot to say, was that this past winter I had to change the battery. Again, that's probably my fault because I had not been driving the car that much during the winter. So I had to change the battery, but again, that's normal upkeep with the car. So other than that, the car's, you know, been very reliable. I haven't really had any issues. You know, probably some of these issues I could have identified early on, or if I'd done a pre-purchase inspection, you know, I'm sure a lot of those things would have come up. But all in all, I've been super happy with the reliability of this car, the maintenance of this car. Everybody tells me that the M54 engine that's in this car is bulletproof, and you know, I look forward to driving this car for many more years to come. So that's the update from a reliability perspective. In terms of just you know, a broader question of have I been happy with this car now that I've lived with it for 3 years? And yes, I mean, this car's been everything that I wanted. It was you know, it was always intended to be a toy, a third party. I mean, I'm sorry, a third car. You know, to take out on the weekends on the curvy roads. It was also a car that allowed me to experience the ownership of a convertible. And you know, in many ways, it really fulfilled all those requirements. You know, I would definitely recommend this car to anybody. Obviously, they're getting older, so I don't know if I would recommend this as your only car, even though the one that I have has worked really well. So can't really complain there too much. All right, guys, that's it for the, you know, 3-year ownership update. I should really just call it an, you know, 8,000 mile update, because I feel like a 3-year ownership update signifies that there's gonna, you know, that you've driven it for a lot longer than, or a lot more than 8,000 miles. But in any case, that's the update. Stay tuned for more BMW Z4 videos. Thank you for watching. Like this video, share, subscribe, leave a comment below, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks, guys.